Jesus. I mean, trust me, man.
Oops. Once again, the song's your man H-Rap coming at you live and direct with another episode of the best sports show on air. It is called Hold My Beer Sports. Tonight, it is entitled Loyalty is for Losers. Loyalty is for losers when it comes to sports. We are in the free agency period of the National Football League, and you have a lot of things going on, moves that are being made, the upcoming draft. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. I'll give you a little MLB because that's about to start March Madness in full effect, and the NBA playoffs. But first, let me start off with Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is in pre-spring, we're in the spring training portion of it. And in regards to things that are happening, you have the New York Yankees, the biggest team and one of the biggest teams in all the sports. Two of their biggest stars had MRIs yesterday. You got Jarrett Cole and Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge checked out. Cole is going in for a secondary MRI with his elbow. He had an abdomen thing going on with Aaron Judge. Most importantly, happy birthday to one of my favorite players as a young person. It's by the name of Darryl Strawberry. Darryl Strawberry was the left-handed slugger for the New York Mets, Los Angeles Dodgers, a few others. The Giants ended his career with the Yankees. His birthday was yesterday. Happy 62nd birthday to the Straw Man, and his jersey will be retired at the onset of the season by the New York Mets. He played the majority of his career there, so we're gonna salute him there. What's up, what's up, my man DJ Mook in the building? It's good to see you, man. So salute to Strawberry and happy birthday. And he had a heart attack yesterday. Send a prayer out for my man Straw. I don't know, health is shaky these days. He had bouts with cancer. He has bouts with drug addiction. He's been clean. He's running a rehabilitation center now. Hopefully, he'll be okay. He'll be able to celebrate many, 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 many years into the future. Darryl Strawberry, one of the best sluggers that I ever seen. Left hand, I got the left hand bias going. So, of course, I'm going to love Straw. But it is what it is. Get healthy soon, Straw. We got mad love for you here at Hold My Beer Sports. Now, with that being said, March Madness is upon us. March Madness is upon us. I got one question for the sports fans in this universe. Do you really care anymore? At what point in my life, this was the most exciting time of the year? We love the Super Bowl. We love the NBA Finals. We love the World Series. We love the Stanley Cup Finals. We love all that stuff. But March Madness introduced us to new schools, introduced us to new players. It's always going to be some upsets. Is a 16 ever going to be the one? Is a little school ever going to do this? All these questions are being answered. If you've been listening to, when the end of events was exclusively a sports show, I made a prediction. The prediction was this. Within the next 3 to 5 years, schools that we have no idea who they are. Go Gamecocks. That's my man Big Mo from the SC in the building where most of us come from. I told y'all a couple weeks ago, 40% of the people that look like me and you come from South Carolina nationwide. 40%. Dig that. Now, with that being said, March Madness is not what it used to be. I said a few years back, within the next 3 to 5 years, that March Madness will be dominated by schools that we never heard of or schools that we never suspected would win. And that prediction has come true. It has come to fruition. Yet you still have the North Carolinas competing and things of that nature. But at the end of the day, when you're running through a tournament like this, continuity is king, experience is king, good coaching, rules today in college basketball and college sports at all times. And that's what we're experiencing right now. CBS, NBC, ABC, Fox Sports, they're all dropping the ball because, they still want us to watch Carolina, Duke. They still want us to watch UCLA, Arizona, and those institutions. Look, it's a good thing to watch. Those are excellent institutions to watch. They've given us some of the most exciting sports in the history of college basketball as well as football. But it's time to evolve. Evolution is the key. And at the end of the day, I'm going to cover this topic right here. I'm going to lead us out. I want you guys to stay to the end. I'm not going to be here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. I'm going to talk about this topic right there. 80s and 90s versus now. That's been a trending topic on Twitter. It's been on fire for the last few weeks. And I'm gonna cover that. My man CJ, check him out. He gonna be in the chat room a little later. He the one who asked me to talk about it after I put a little thought into it. He hit me up early this morning, hit me up about 9 o'clock this morning. I need you to talk about this. So I'm gonna acquiesce. That's my little man right there. But I want people to understand. See, these major networks have dropped the ball. The best sports are played when teams are kept together for a long period of time. My man Big Mo, who's in the chat room, he's upset with the NBA now because there's no such thing as Kobe Bryant with the Lakers, Clyde Drexler with the Blazers, Mark Aguirre or Dirk Nowitzki with the Dallas Mavericks, Dwayne Wade with the Heat, and so forth and so on. Everybody's on 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 different teams, and that's another reason loyalty is for losers. And you chose Tiki Barber because I'll talk about him when I get to the football segment. But if you need continuity to be the best possible team, what you need to do is stop putting Carolina on TV. Start putting wherever state university where most of these guys have no chance of going to the pro or slim. Look, only 1% of the people. It's a 480 NBA job, so it's literally over 100 Division I schools. So guess what? You're not gonna make it. More than likely, you're not gonna make it. But the schools like Tulane, the schools like Iowa State, the schools like the University of Iowa, the schools like SIU, Southern Illinois University, and other schools throughout the country, they are putting out their quality ball games. And if you really want to maximize your billions of dollars that you gave the NCAA to broadcast these games, CBS, ABC, NBC, ESPN, and Fox Sports, start putting the smaller schools up there. Because guess what? People love being on TV. And guess what will happen? If you find out you're going to be on ESPN this week, everybody in the student body going to run to the stadium. And when they run to the stadium, it's going to be rocking. It's going to be rocking. That's going to get us involved. When they get us involved, guess what? Y'all going to make more money. We'll be more entertained. And guess what? We'll even watch the tournament more on True TV, TNT, CBS. It's easy. It's checkers, not chess. Y'all gonna have to start paying me for some of these ideas for real. But this is what's missing. If you want continuity, put a team on the TV that has been a team for 5, 7. You got to look. It's 15 people on the team. Give me 3 or 4 juniors, 2 or 3 seniors, and a couple freshmen and a couple red shirt people, and they've been playing together. They know where their spots are. It's going to be a continuity situation. It's going to be entertaining, and we will continue to watch. The only reason we watch Syracuse and Georgetown and all those, because y'all put them on TV and put them in front of us. You think we've been watching Georgetown? For real, y'all. What were they doing before ESPN in Georgetown? Well, nobody watching Georgetown basketball. Put it on TV, it'll work. But back to this. Look, Angel Reese and the ladies and the NCAA tournament is on the way. We really don't care about the men's game anymore. How many of y'all look? Remove your favorite team. Remove your favorite team for your mind. Now name me 3 top NCAA men basketball players. Exactly. I can't hear y'all, but I know y'all not watching those dudes. Those dudes mean nothing to you anymore because the ladies are actually hooping. It's the difference in the basketball player. It's the dude, he can dribble with his left hand. He can dribble with his right hand. He can go behind his back. He can pull up. He can dunk from half court. He can do all that stuff, but can he actually hoop? You can play basketball, but are you hoopers? Angel Reese, hooper. What's my man? Juju Watkins out there at USC. She hooping. This girl averaged, I think, 32, 33 a game. The white girl. In Iowa, what's her name? Caitlin Clark, she hooping. Flage down at LSU, she hooping. The whole South Carolina Gamecocks team, they are hooping. Understand, this team has lost 1 game in 2 seasons. 1 game, 2 seasons. Dawn Staley has these young ladies out here doing the thing. The reason we used to watch the men's game is that's why we're watching the women's game now. These ladies are into the game. They're engaged. We saw this weekend, it was a little brouhaha, as they call it. As my man Big Mo just said, the women are killing it. Jay-Z is in the building. Just Big Mo know what that means. Okay, it was a little brouhaha. Everybody got all in their feelings. Look, this is the essence of competition. You don't want to see none of those men fight because they out there trying to get followers and they want clicks and likes. But these ladies want to win championships because, first of all, they're in school to get educated. Second of all, they're in school to get NIL. And third, and most importantly, they want to get a ring or a necklace or whatever you do, because did you know you get the option to get the necklace, the ring around your neck, or the ring on your hand. But they trying to win championships. These dudes trying to get paid, and it's There's nothing wrong with getting paid. But at the end of the day, it's not engaging for me. Now, a lot of these young people, I understand the young people, they bet on games, they watch highlights, but you'll never get the essence of this game unless you watch the entire game. Because guess what? Y'all don't even hear about Juju Watkins because y'all on the East Coast. Well, we in the Midwest. Juju Watkins is out West doing the thing. You don't know about Stanford. You don't know about Duke ladies basketball. You don't know about these things because, man, that ladies basketball, they ain't dunking. If you want to be simple and you want to just look at the foolishness, or do you want to watch an actual competitive basketball game? If you want to do that, hey, look, if you watch March Madness, you're gonna see schools like Kansas, who used to be the #1 team in the nation, Bill Self. Look, this is how watered down and diluted the men's game is. Bill Self at one point had the #1 men's basketball team in the nation. They're not even #1 in their division anymore. They're entering the Big 12 tournament, and he's sitting down his top 2 scorers. Who wants to watch that? Nobody. Nobody. It's no longer exciting. It's going to be a team. The reason you do watch the men's game is this. The reason you watch the men's game is because it will be a Tulane, it will be a Louisville, it will be a Ball State, it will be Rudy Pooh State University, Pepperdine, one of them schools out west, one of them schools out of the south, one of them schools all over east, or a Midwest school, like I said, Ball State, or one of them schools, Butler, that will shock you to no end. Remember, a couple years ago, maybe 10 years ago, Butler went to back-to-back championship games. Teams like that are going to win the national championship. Now, it's going to be a different team every year. This is why you do watch. But if you really want to watch it, I haven't watched a whole ton of men's college basketball this year. I have watched a whole lot of women's college basketball. Understand. If you really want to be entertained, watch that women's game, and you'll be, as a sports fan. Now, if you're a highlight fan and you're an analytics and statistical guy, go ahead, watch ESPN, watch a couple of nice passes. Oh, he dunked on him, and you're good. He scored 30 points and his team lost by 40. Who cares? No one cares. This is what we're going to do. We're going to watch this NCAA tournament. Hopefully, a whole bunch of upsets, get them Arizonas out the way, get them Kansas out the way, and let the little guys win. And then, hopefully, a couple of them HBCUs sneak in. Last 10 years, a bunch of HBCUs have been sneaking in the tournament and making a little noise. So what we're going to do is we're going to hope for that. And if that doesn't work out for us, sports fans, we're going to watch those ladies get it in. That's how we're going to do it. Now, the National Basketball Association is falling apart brick by brick, player by player. They don't want to look, as I stated, that one conversation, what I'm about to say is in total contrast, but I need you to keep it in context. They don't want to let the ghost of Michael Jordan go. They don't want to let the late, great Kobe Bryant's legacy go. They don't want to celebrate their current players. They don't want competition. So the NBA and all major sports league, they have gotten in bed with gambling, and it's starting to show. The young brother, Rudy Gobert from France, he made the money sign to a ref after a horrible call. He got suspended fined $100,000. Now, NBA and the rest of you sports leagues, a lot of y'all, oh man, they tripping. Nah, they're not tripping, because I got 2 words for you. Tim Donaghy. Tim Donaghy was arrested, indicted, convicted, and served time in the federal penitentiary for fixing NBA games. Only an entire fool would be dumb enough to believe he was the lone wolf rogue ref that was cheating. Come on now. Let's be honest, man. It ain't one dude cheating. If it's a cheating situation, especially with referees, you need a referee team. Just like you and your homies got group text saying, man, did you hear that new song? Did you see that new girl? Did you see that show with old girl? And did you see this? Did you see that? These refs, you trust and believe. You've heard them say Allen Iverson cussed out a ref, and then they said, oh man, Allen Iverson, we're going to call all these raggedy calls on you. Then he asked one of the refs, and he's like, yeah, man, you shouldn't have cussed out our boy. How you think they got that situation? How you think that was spread throughout the league? So if they spread now, call bogus calls on people because we don't like them, you don't think it's a secondary text going, look, homeboy hitting me with this 10, 12, 15, 20, $100,000, and we're gonna split it up between the three refs, and we ain't gonna make them lose, but we're gonna keep the points in certain ways. Come on, man, stop it, knock it off. They don't want it to blow up. Rudy Gobert got fined $100K, which is not it's not a whole lot of money in comparison to what they're making. If I'm making $100 million and you find me $100,000, that's like getting a $10 parking ticket. And let's just be honest. But the NBA is running scared, and they think, oh man, you got to get this damage control. Well, the way you do damage control, National Basketball Association, start allowing the competitive nature to squeak back into the game. I don't know about y'all, but the best games I've ever watched were very close games with it was nip and tuck the whole way. I don't need to see 120 points a night. I need to see some pick and pops. I need to see some clutch play. But we've legislated that out of the league. If you want more gamblers, make the games tighter, make the game more exciting, keep us on the edge of our seats, and then we'll start betting money. You don't know how many times you've been sitting in the house talking to your brother, your cousin, your homeboy, your neighbor, and they bet on the next free throw. Guess what? You can do that on DraftKings, FanDuel, and ESPN Bet now. Understand, y'all cheating yourself out of it by making these highlight reels and everybody good. No, it's not. It is an international, worldwide game. So if you really want eyes on it, make it as competitive as possible, not this free-flowing foolishness that y'all got now. Do we want to watch Charles Barkley or my man Mark Jackson back somebody down for 15 seconds after shot clock? No, we don't want that. Some of the rules are necessary. Do we want the rough and tumble 80s, 70s, and 80s basketball with the no layup rule? Yes, we do. We want some of that. We don't want all of it. We want some of it. We want to see just how tough you are. Look, it's in all sports. It's in hockey. They're trying to legislate it out of football, but football is too physical for that. It's in soccer. It's in everywhere. Physicality and imposing your will upon a secondary athlete is part of sports. It's in MMA. It's in boxing. It's in wrestling. That's why they have weight classes, so I can lean on you. If I'm a little bigger than if you're a smaller man, I'm gonna physically impose myself upon you and dominate you. Bring that back to basketball. Otherwise, look, we ain't trying to hear none of that nonsense y'all talking about. I don't care that the National Basketball League got this guy and got that guy and this guy and that guy. But what I do care about is a quality thing to sit down and watch. If you are not giving me a quality program to tune into, I don't care how many points somebody score. Because guess what? What's the dude? Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns scored 62 points the same night Joel Embiid scored 70. He scored 62. How do you score 62 points in a regulation game and lose? I saw Kevin McHale score 60 in a regulation game, and the Boston Celtics beat the brakes off. A couple of weeks later, Bird scored 65. Only person I ever seen score 60-plus points in a losing effort was Michael Jeffrey Jordan, and it took 3 overtimes to beat him, and it took one of the greatest teams ever assembled to beat him. He was playing against Bill Walton, top 75 player, Kevin McHale, top 75 player, Danny Ainge, NBA All-Star, Larry Joe Bird, top 75 player, and Dennis Johnson, Hall of Famer. That's what it took to beat Michael Jordan scoring 63. Rudy Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns lost to a bunch of Rudy Poots. You were up 15, scored 63 and lost. You were up 15 in the middle of the third quarter, scored 62 and lost, because you're stat chasing and watching. No one wants to watch that. Y'all can tell me this is a better game. They got more skills. They can dribble through their legs. But can you affect what's going on? Y'all think Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson were great because they scored. No, they knew how to score. They knew when to score. It's a clip out there right now with my man Monster Mash talking about Michael Jordan pulled up on him in the game and told him how to improve his game. He said he proceeded to tell him throughout this situation, their interaction, how Bird played, how Magic played, and everybody else played. That is why we love the game. That's what made us fall in love with the game. It wasn't just running up and down and shooting. I can shoot. I'm listening to Gilbert Arenas the other day, and but I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into that on that 90s and 80s versus now. This is what we have to understand. It is more that goes into a basketball game than scoring. It is strategy, it is effort, it is work, it is intelligence, it's everything. And that's why you love these games. Enough of loving basketball, enough of talking about baseball. Let's talk about football. And the title is Loyalty is for Losers. If you've known me anytime, or if you tuned in to me for any extended period of time, you understand that I would have never made it in the NFL for a very long time because I'm not giving up no money. I'm going out there to the highest bidder. And most NFL players need to have, in my opinion, should have the same mentality. Look, it is not a privilege to play in the NFL because it's not a privilege to put your life on the line and put your physical body. That's not a privilege. A privilege comes with something else, and it ain't imminent danger. That's it. That's all. I'm done talking. Now, if you ask me, instead of national football players playing to win a Super Bowl, if you need to be out there playing to get a yellow jacket and be in Canton, Ohio in August, you should be playing to be a Hall of Famer. The reason you should play to be a Hall of Famer is because of this. If you're playing to be a Hall of Famer, what happens is you will learn your craft. You will keep your body in tip-top condition. You'll be able to assist your teammates and upgrade everything. You'll be able to upgrade everything about you and your teammates possible. That's what Hall of Famers do. Lawrence Taylor made the game a little easier for Carl Banks, a little easier for Leonard Marshall, a little easier for Pepper Johnson, so forth. I can't think his name. His face is right in my mind. A bunch of these guys would have suffered without Lawrence Taylor. Walter Payton the same way. John Elway the same way. Joe Montana the same way. And then we can go chapter, book, and verse throughout the annals of history, going back to the 70s and 60s and 50s, coming up to today. If you are a Hall of Fame level player, it's easier for your teammates. When you got Prime on your team, now you got 4 DBs sticking 2 people. That's it. That's all. 4 DBs sticking 2 people. Then you got linebackers covering the tight end, 3 linebackers. It's easier to play. So forget that. I don't want to win a championship. I don't want people to look. I'm out here to get paid. I'm out here to go to the Hall of Fame. And then your team will inevitably be the best team possible. But y'all got people out here playing for rings. I ain't playing for no ring. I'm playing for the ring they gave you at the Hall of Fame ceremony. Because guess what? It's 63 people on a football team. It's 53 active people. It is 53 people that's going to get a Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl ring. And it's some of those dudes that didn't even play. So, and they not even getting paid a lot. So get paid, make it to the Hall of Fame. You'll do you, your family, and the team a favor. Back to the point. Tiki Barber. This dude is a clown. He came out and told somebody, "You're dead to me," over a football game. The National Football League has shown time and time and time again that they don't care about the players. They are full of horse excrement. That's it. That's all. There's no way to dress it up. The National Football League don't care about their players. You got people out there getting paralyzed. Oh man, we care about the CTA. No, you don't. No, you do not. But we got stop racism. Well, most of the billionaires that run your team, they are bankrolling situations that are stripping you of your rights. If you rip, the Bears are here in my city right now on the lakefront trying to spend $500 million on a new football stadium. Now, if the city of Chicago owns it, it will be beneficial. I'm one of the people who said a few years ago when they put that little flying saucer in the stadium, that they shouldn't have done it that way then. I said that then. But I understand how beneficial it could be, but how is it going to be beneficial to me right now? Now you're going to put people to work and things like that, but that's neither here nor there. But at the end of the day, when Tiki Barber is talking about loyalty with a team, Saquon Barkley signed with the NFL rival of the New York Giants, the Philadelphia Eagles. I get it. It's a rivalry. Oh, we want to beat them. Only time I want to beat the team that's in my division, I hate them, is when they playing the team against I'm playing. Look, the New York Football Giants have had 3 seasons, 3 full seasons to sign Saquon Barkley to an extended contract. They said, no, we don't want to invest in him. He's not going to be. So now you're going to tell me where I can go get paid? Tiki, shut up, man. And you talk about being disloyal. Didn't they catch you cheating on your wife, dog? What? You cheating on your wife and almost got fired from your cushy NBC job, and you going to talk about loyalty? Bruh, loyalty should never come out of your mouth, son. Never. And then you're going to say the man dead to you. And then you just joking. No, you was joking because he clapped back. Shout out to Saquon Barkley for, in a very classy way, told him, man, shut up. Shut up, clown. And I like that, man. But look, people, it's just me. You ain't got to do what I'm saying. You ain't got to live the way I'm living. You ain't got to think the way I'm thinking. But at the end of the day, we should be liking the players and not the team. Look, if that's your city, root for your city, rep your town, rep your team. But when these dudes who the back end of their contract is worth the same, this bag right here, this bag that I got my cord for my camera in, is worth the same thing. You know, when you hear somebody, he signed a $100 million contract, $50 million is guaranteed. He signed a $50 million contract. See, it just sounds good on TV. Look, knock it off with that nonsense. Tiki is a clown. And if you think people who love to watch football and former players and anybody else, we're going to get mad at you. Look, boo him when he goes to, look, if you're a Giant fan, you really shouldn't boo him because the Giants had a chance to sign him. Don't get mad at me because the ownership, see, this is the same thing. We continue to be mad at these players when the team ownership don't do what they're supposed to do. You mad, Tiki Barber promoting it too. Being a former player, he should be slapped in his mouth. He should be slapped in his mouth. But we allow him to get away with this. Look, why is it that this happens? A player leaves via free agency. He's disloyal. That same player gets cut because we don't want to pay him the rest of this money, and the team did what was best for them. Listen to how they programmed you. Listen to that. And anybody speaking against it,
you better shut your white mouth. I'm not kidding you.
It's just foolishness, man. It's just foolishness. And Tiki Bob, all I need
sit your ass down. Sit your ass down.
Not making sense. Did the Giants pay you in full? Yeah, they did. It was a different situation. It was a different time. These young men, but guess what? A bunch of your teammates got cut. A bunch of your teammates wasn't allowed to get the full effect of their contract. How is it that Plaxico Burress gets his contract shredded because he shot himself in the leg and went to jail? Why don't you just put it on pause and then you come back and let him play? Or what I do outside, how many people will shoot themselves and get fired at a regular job? You don't even get unemployed with the NFL. So look, you can join forces with your team, root against whoever you want, growl and spit while the game going on. But once the business start, the contract start, don't be rooting against these dudes, man. That's just flat out foolishness. That's why when it comes to sports, loyalty is for losers, because you will lose if you try to be loyal. Ask Dwayne Wade. Remember when the big three came together, LeBron, Bosh, and Wade, and he allowed Chris Bosh to get a max deal. He allowed LeBron to get a max deal. He took less money for the team, and then they told him, we're going to get you on the back end. And when the back end came around, he had to come to Chicago to get his real money, and then they bought him out, and he never really got his true money. That's that loyalty. He was loyal to Pat Riley, and he was the biggest loser because Pat Riley's still getting paid. LeBron got all his money. Bosh got all his money, and D-Wade got nothing. He got nothing. Well, he didn't get nothing, but he didn't get compensated for sacrificing. This is what I'm talking about. This is a business. Make it a business, and that's what it always should be. Speaking of being rolling out with the loser coalition, you got the Cincinnati Bengals. They trying to trade away their number 2 receiver because it's too much to pay him. And they traded away their best running backs, one of the best running backs in the league, Joe Mixon. Now, there's going to be some people in the next few weeks to talk about Joe Mixon. See, Joe Mixon, he was the one who slapped that white girl in the mouth. Well, he ain't slapped no white girl in the mouth in the last 6 years. And he been slapping linebackers and DBs and linemen in the mouth as he run past them. Joe Mixon is one of the best backs in the league. He got traded to the Texans, which is a shout out to my man, Miko Ryans. He is recreating that San Francisco 49ers world. Trust me, it's about to go down in Texas. The Houston Texans, they have a major league quarterback. They have a big-time coach. They have a supreme offensive coordinator. They got defense out the wazoo. They signing DBs from Jacksonville. They got Joe Mixon. Guess what? You got a big-time quarterback, and this dude is big-time. He executed. Rookie of the year, was in the MVP conversation, and you're going to give him a prime Joe Mixon, a guy who's in his prime, who's running through everything possible. He can catch out the backfield. He can run through you. He can run around. He can run past you. The Houston Texans are going to be a problem. The Houston Texans are going to be a problem. Another team that's going to be a problem is the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are going to be a problem. Why? Because just like everybody said, man, Aaron Rodgers is gone. We don't know what they're going to do. Well, it looks like the Green Bay Packers are on their way to 50 years of good quarterback play. You got 20 years with Favre, 20 years with Aaron Rodgers, and you got another 10 years with this young dude, Jordan Love. Does he look like a world beater? Not yet. This is first year start. But he took them from the ashy to classy. He took them from nobody expected the Green Bay Packers to make the playoffs. Not only did they make the playoffs, they won a playoff game. Jordan Love is the anchor of that situation. Man, Aaron Jones, good ball player, solid ball player, but he's off the engine. What did they do? They didn't give him a contract, no loyalty to Aaron Jones. He put his body on the line for the last 8 years. They signed my man from the Las Vegas Raiders, Josh Jacobs, out of the University of Oklahoma, out of the state of Oklahoma, University of Alabama. Big time running back, 1,800 yards rushing year for last. He had a little injury situation last year. He didn't do as well. He was splitting time as well. But this dude is what they would call a warrior. I don't use terms like he a dog and he a bell cow. I'm not referring to black people as animals. No more. Don't call nobody no dog, no monkey, no chick. No, we're not doing that no more, man. He is a warrior. He running over people. He running around people. He's younger. He's faster. He catching the ball equally as well as Aaron Jones. The Green Bay Packers, they signed this big-time safety. Look, the Green Bay Packers don't miss a beat. Excellent front office, excellent situation. And guess what? If you sign it, big-time free agents, and you sign your players to big-time contracts, I'm going to need people to cut that foolishness out about small market teams. They can't afford it. Talked to my man the other day, and I was saying, hey, I think and I'd like to hear what y'all think about this. I think the National Football League should do away with the salary cap when it comes to re-signing your players. How are you penalizing teams? First of all, it's only 32 teams with over 103 Division I AA or 1A schools now. That's what they call it, 1A. People coming from Division II and III as well. And it's only 32 jobs, 1,500, 1,800 jobs available. Maybe they need to get 8 more teams, 4 in the AFC, 4 in the NFC, and make it fair. But that's a whole other show for another day. But this is what I'm saying. If the NFL did away with the salary or made provisions for the salary cap for players for players, you done found a diamond in the rough, and now you can't re-sign them because your quarterback make this much money, your DN make this much money. How are you penalizing people for doing their job? General managers do their job well. They shouldn't have to go redo it every 2 years so they can go to another team and compete. If the salary cap is this, re-signing them should only go up a little bit. Now, if you will get a free agent, it hits it harder. Don't penalize people for being able to do their job. The scouts for doing their job, the trainers for doing their job, coaches for doing their job, player development people for doing their job. Maybe y'all need to implement that. If y'all really trying to entertain us, again, it goes back to what my man Big Mo said. There is no loyalty. People be moving around too much. That'll minimalize the moving around. It will create actual loyalty because you'll see I invested in you. I'm going to invest money in you, and I want you to stay here in Chicago. I want you to stay here in New York, Dallas, Los Angeles, Florida, wherever you're at in Florida, wherever you are in the country. That way, It is a consistency of greatness, and then teams won't be falling off like bad though. Maybe the Carolina Panthers, because whoever's running the Carolina Panthers is a legitimate read. They are horrible in Carolina. They need to resell that team to me. I ain't got that much money, but hey, I would do a better job at running the Carolina Panthers. How you gonna get a quarterback? How you gonna sign 2 guards and you don't sign some tackles? And you got a new rookie quarterback. You let the wide receiver go and you ain't got no running back. Come on, Carolina. Y'all falling off like bad dog. It's not looking good. Now, with that being said, one of the biggest free agent signings of this season has been one Russell Wilson. Told my man Big Illinois a couple months ago when Sean Payton showed his behind that Russell Wilson would end up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was the best landing place. Everybody, oh man, it's amazing how since everybody, these stat people, everybody love the stats, everybody want to talk about analytics, everybody want to talk about QBR. But I want to ask somebody, which one of y'all know the formula for QBR or quarterback rating? Either one of them. If any, not many. Now, with that being said, let's just look at the raw numbers. Russell Wilson threw for 40-some touchdowns. In the last 4 years, I think 40-some touchdowns, 38 touchdowns. He had one horrible year where he threw 13 interceptions and like 32 touchdowns. And last year, year before last, he did not so good with the Broncos, but they passed it off as the coach was a reread. They got rid of the coach. And even this coach that had everything against the walked in the door, didn't want him. He still threw for 28 touchdowns and I think 9 interceptions. This dude has not had but one bad season. One bad season at the quarterback position. The question is this. If Russell Wilson is all this bad and don't nobody want him, please explain to me who he was throwing to in Denver. Nobody. You have literally had people step up and say he didn't have a good offense around him. The coach didn't know what he was doing. The coach, and then you got rid of him. The coach was against him. You don't have a good defense. You don't have a special teams. But I am supposed to step up and dominate the National Football League with a reread coach, a coach against me, and very little talent around me. I wonder why they don't like Russell Wilson. See, I be trying. I would love to not get into the racial aspect of sports, but explain to me this. Riddle me this, Batman. How is it that Sam Darnold is a National Football League quarterback and he's scheduled to be a starter? Gardner Minshew, if a trade isn't made, he's scheduled to be a quarterback. You tell every time the reason running backs are not getting paid is because they get injured too fast and they run out of gas immediately. But you just signed a quarterback who was barely mobile to begin with, and he's coming off one of the most difficult injuries to recover from. And it's not like he had a hollis up to begin with. He did not have an arm cannon. But you signed a 36-year-old dude to a 4-year, $100 million guaranteed contract for a new coach with the Falcons. And you don't have a prerequisite plan in the event that this dude gets hurt. Because I don't know about nobody else. 40-year-old people are not designed, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40-year-old people are not designed to be effective National Football League football players. You might be great on Madden, but how did he get that job? Baker Mayfield has stained out of several teams, but Justin Fields can't get a job. He can't get anywhere. I'm talking about that in a second. We shouldn't have signed a two-time Super Bowl appearing quarterback, kind of like Aaron Rodgers ain't made it to 2 Super Bowls, but Russ did. A dude who has won several games in consecutive years. Who was playing with Russ? He was the Legion of Boom. Well, when those dudes left, Russ was still, remember, they said, you got Russ cooking. You cooking with Russ. Who was up there with him? Yeah, I know DK Metcalf was up there, but nobody's ever confused DK Metcalf with one of the greatest receivers in the world. He's one of the greatest talents in the National Football League. He has some of the greatest athletic ability in the National Football League, but DK Metcalf is not known as a great wide receiver. So who was up there doing it with him? Who's been doing it? Jerry Jeudy, everybody's saying he averaged. So with the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got a quarterback last year who got benched for Mason Rudolph, So this means Russ should be able to be the starting quarterback with the genius of Mike Tomlin and the talent of Harrison and Warner. I think his name Warren or Warner, and the defense that's there. And they finally replaced Ryan Shazier with Quinnen. I think he out of Buffalo. This team might actually be better. And if you got a quarterback that can stop hitting wide open linebackers and DBs and not get sacked every time he drop back, with the genius of Mike Tomlin, they ain't even saying Pittsburgh is a Super Bowl contender. They're saying they're a playoff contender. I understand it's one of the toughest divisions in football. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna overhype our brother Mike Tomlin. But at the end of the day, if you can get to the playoffs with those dudes that they had playing quarterback, if Russell Wilson can play exactly the way he played last year, they can beat Josh Allen. They can beat the little dude Tua in Miami. They can Joe Burrow ain't gonna have nobody to throw it to, and you got rid of his running back. Again, I told y'all. Allow me to finish that thought. The Pittsburgh Steelers should be a contender for the Super Bowl. Speaking of contenders of the Super Bowl, you got King Henry, an inevitable NFL Hall of Famer from the running back position at age 30, just signed with the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens is another team that I was talking about. That why are they being penalized for doing an excellent job scouting and drafting? I don't know. Just salary cap thing. At some point, y'all might have to figure that out. King Henry is just signed with the Baltimore Ravens. Everybody's saying, well, that's not the problem. My man Lamar Jackson, he needs to do better in the big games. Well, guess what, man? If I'm the number one running team in the National Football League, why in the entire hell, again, why in the entire hell did you run the football 6 times in an NFL playoff game in the cold? I got the most dynamic, athletic quarterback since Michael Vick. Arguably better than Michael Vick. On his way to his second league MVP. I got Dalvin Cook on my bench. I got Gus Edwards on the field. And Gus Edwards' first play of the game was a 15-yard run. He don't touch the ball till the second half. You're right. It wasn't the needing of King Henry to help you get over the top. It's the needing of common sense with John Harbaugh, his offensive coordinator. You do not run the football with the number one rushing team in the league. And guess what? If we know you're going to throw, the coach will tell you, slow down, don't rush the pass, keep your hands up, and be ready for a mistake to happen. Teams want you to do a 16 to 18 play drive to score a touchdown versus a bomb or a running back turning the corner. Now, what I will tell you is this: with King Henry and Dalvin Cook in the backfield, with my man Odell Beckham Jr. and my man Shea. Hey, this might be an even better situation if John Harbaugh can pull his head out of his behind and let them run the football. I told y'all at the beginning of the year, go to HRAPB on TikTok and you'll see back in August, I told y'all they're going to run the football like you wouldn't believe this season. I told y'all they was trying to get last year's prices, get this year's free agent running backs for last year's prices. And every team in the league, the Bears picked up Swift. They picked up King Henry. Everybody who is somebody picked up Joe Mixon, traded to the Texans. Everybody who's somebody, my man Saquon with the Eagles. Everybody who's somebody, everybody who contended picked up a running back. I told y'all, man, this is checkers, not chess. You run to win, you throw to score. That's it. That's all. It is nothing else to talk about. Football is sports, again, is a game about imposing your will upon people. And if you can impose your will upon people, you will win. And when it's 30 degrees outside, it don't even have to be freezing. When it's 40 degrees and colder, running into a 6'3", 230-pound dude that's running as fast as Eric Dickerson or Tony Dorsett or Walter Payton, it's just not what you want to deal with. You didn't want to run into Eddie George. You didn't want to run into, you don't want to run into King Henry. You didn't want to run into Earl Campbell. It is not a pleasant feeling. And then you got Dalvin Cook on the bench, and you got these other dudes, Zay Flowers. I couldn't think his name. You got Zay Flowers. You got Odell Beckham Jr. They're going to draft somebody because that's what they have a track record of doing. Look, I'm here to tell you, the Ravens are going to be unstoppable. They will be unstoppable, which leads me to my hometown, Chicago Bears. I know a lot of people kicking poles in the head, talking about, man, he couldn't have got this. First and foremost, explain to me again, 36-year-old dude who's won one playoff game in 12 years just got $100 million. Baker Mayfield stinks. He stinks. Oh, man, he better than you, H-Rap. I know that's what people are. Well, he better than you. He in the league, yeah. But guess what? I'm a better podcaster than him. Don't compare him to my job. Don't compare me to his job. If you don't play, I'm not going to get into a dunk contest with Terrence Stansberry. Y'all don't even know who Terrence Stansberry is. I'm not going to get into it with him. So don't compare me to Baker Mayfield doing his job. Compared to his contemporaries, Baker Mayfield stinks. And he just got $50 million guaranteed. How is it that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not trying to be on the phone with the Bears? You're going to get a 30, 32-year-old dude who has stained out of the Cleveland Browns, stained out of the Carolina Panthers, stained out of the Rams, and stained out of a few other situations, and you're going to get him $50 million. But don't nobody see anything in Justin Field. No one sees anything. And guess what? The Chicago Bears are on track to ruin another young brother's career. Guess why? Because if they draft Jaden Black Swan, I know you're going to be listening. You always listen later. Please, I hope they don't draft your nephew. Please don't let the Bears draft your nephew. He got a Williams. That might be the first bad jersey I ever buy if they draft him. But think about it like this. The last three, this is the last two, and it's going to the third Bear quarterback. You drafted Mitch Trubisky, and he played a year, and he played another year. Then they got rid of his coach, and then he started tailing off, and now he's about to wash out the league. He should wash out the league this year. Then you got my man Justin Field. Played a year with that lousy coach. They got rid of that lousy coach, and they brought in this dude who's a Riri. He didn't know what he was doing with Justin, and guess what? Now it's a do or die year for him, and they about to get rid of Justin, and they go bring in another quarterback, and this dude's more than likely gonna get fired. And guess what? If he gets fired, then Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniel, or Drake May is gonna have to learn something from a whole nother regime, and they're gonna be like, "Hey man, we didn't draft him. We don't want him." So Chicago Bears, look, I like to pick up a Swift. He was a very good Pro Bowl running back last year. But look, Poles, look, at the end of the day, I'm not blinking if I'm Poles. Y'all, it's a bunch of teams out here. Personally, I believe the Las Vegas Raiders should go get Justin Field. Give them what they need. Give them a third-round pick, and they'll jump on it. The reason I say that is this. I understand the offensive coordinator is there, but the reason I want them to get Justin Field is because Antonio Pierce is playing ground and pound football. He's playing ground and pound football. He's busting people in the mouth with the Raiders, and then he's into player development because he's a former player and he understands the need for player development. It might not be the greatest idea to put him with the previous offensive coordinator, but with Antonio Pierce at the helm, he's going to make sure Justin Fields, a high character dude, stood up in the Big Ten when the COVID was going on. He stood up in the player situation here in Chicago. You have not heard, look, y'all know I'm a that guy, but you never heard nobody in the Chicago locker room dissing Justin Fields. Only thing I've heard that he's a natural leader, he's a hard worker. So if you're a natural leader and a hard worker, Antonio Pierce being your coach, they will construct, he will coach. What's the dictionary definition of coach? Taking a player, taking his best attributes and allowing those attributes to flourish. Not taking a player, putting them in the system, making them learn the system. That's not coaching. That's video games. We're not playing a video game. These are human beings. Look, again, Black Swan, I hope if your nephew get drafted to Chicago, I'm going to be a fan. I'm going to be a fan, but I'm going to be praying for the young brother because the Bears have ruined several careers. The Raiders, the aforementioned Raiders, they picked up a man Wilkes out of Miami. They got Crosby on one end. They got Wilkes on the other end. They needed pass rush because a bunch of them dudes in the secondary for the Raiders are complete toast, but they started being regular bread when Antonio got there. So When Antonio's there, they're gonna be better. And if they better, the Raiders will be better. And this is how I'm gonna close out my football section with this. The most talkative face fronting owner in the National Football League goes by the name of one Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones said he was going all in. All in means you're going to lose your starting running back, lose your tackle, lose your safety, and not renegotiate Dak Prescott's contract. You going all in. Otherwise, you going all out. Look, I must put faith in the Dallas Cowboys because Jerry Jones, one thing about Jerry Jones, he does not put trash on the field. They have been able to draft wonderfully. They only got one running back on the table. Look, this is the situation. The Dallas Cowboys are the biggest name in all of football. Jerry Jones is one of the most dominant owners in all of football. I'm trusting him, but I got my eye on you, Jerry. Forgot to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles and Saquon Barkley. I'm slipping, but Jay-Z is in the building, Mo. Inside joke. Now, Philadelphia Eagles signed Saquon Barkley. I think it's one of the most dynamic moves in the league this year. A lot of people are, that's not what they need. Look, when you have a defense that's relatively porous and you have a big time quarterback with Smith and Brown, Kellen Moore is a dude who overdoes it with the passing game. When you got Saquon Barkley, so if you blitz my man Jalen Hurts, he's gonna dump it off to Barkley. If you bring in 8 in the box, Brown and Smith are gonna wear you out. This should be one of the most dynamic offenses in the league. Mr. Moore, Kellen Moore, former offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. What I want you to do is look up at a whole lot of Mike and Kyle Shanahan video and go down there and see what Miko Ryan's doing, and that's what you do. That's how you replicate your offense with my man Jalen Hurts, with my man Saquon and Smith and Brown out there. Otherwise, you are going to look like the Riri that you are, and you and the coach will be on. Look, y'all, they're gonna have an Uber Black waiting on y'all at the end of the season. With that being said, I told y'all I'm not here for a long time, but I am here for a good time. It is time for me to wrap this up. But before I wrap this up, what I want to do is talk about this foolish conversation, what is an insult to my community. Why is it an insult to my community? Because I'm Brian and I know what's an insult to the Black community. That's why. I'm smarter than you. Y'all thought I was going to say I'm just kidding. No, I ain't saying that. But on the serious side, this 80s, 90s versus now NBA basketball sports conversation throughout the entire diaspora of the entire community in the Black world is sickening to me. The reason it's sickening to me is this. The reason Michael Jackson was great because he loved James Brown. The reason Usher was great because he loved Michael Jackson. And it's somebody come along that loved Usher, they loved Michael Jackson, and they loved James Brown, and so forth and so on. Prince was the man because he looked up to Rick James. Rick James was the man because him and Parliament exchanged things. Smokey Robinson and Berry Gordy helped Stevie Wonder. And so it is a cyclical thing. Her loves Prince and so forth and so on. Look, Black folks, I'm speaking directly to my community. We are going to have to learn how to respect what came before us. You respect your mama, you respect your daddy. In most cases, I'm not talking about deadbeat daddies and deadbeat mamas. I know. You respect your parents, you respect your grandparents, you respect your uncles and aunts. The reason I'm bringing these things up is because to compare the 80s, the 70s, 80s, and 90s to now is asinine. It is unequivocally asinine. Of course, the players now have more basketball skill. You know why? Because we saw Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain, and then Kareem improved. Kareem and Moses and Artis Gilmore and those guys improved on that. We saw the late, great Elgin Baylor with the Euro step in the 50s and the 60s and in the early 70s. And then you got people like Connie Hawkins. You got people like, and then guess what? Connie Hawkins came along. He used, and contrary, what y'all don't know is people like Oscar Robertson had a ton of bounce, but he couldn't utilize it because it was called alley ball or that magic word ball. So they had made him temper it down. Then You got people like Elgin Baylor, you got Connie Hawkins, you got Dr. J, and then you got Dominique Wilkins, Clyde Drexler, and then you got Michael Jordan, and that led to Anthony Hardaway and Grant Hill and Kobe Bryant, and the list goes on. You evolve. You saw how the doctor played. Doctor didn't go to the left too hard, so Dr. Mike started working on his left. You got people like Mike's favorite player, David Thompson, didn't work. He didn't have a whole lot of handle. That's how Mike patterned his game. And then as he got older, he got better with his handle. You got Isaiah Thomas, who loved Nate Archibald, who loved Oscar Robertson, who loved Sam Jones and Casey Jones and so forth and so on. It's called evolution. Do not compare something. Guess what? We used to think I'm old enough to remember thinking a 19-inch TV was sharp. He got a 19-inch TV. But guess what? I know people with 80-inch TVs now. So are we going to say that TV is trash? No. Because guess what? At one point in my life, a Sega Genesis was the greatest game in the history of the world. At one point in my life, the Atari 2600 was the greatest game in the world. And then that game Pong was great. Evolution improves on everything. So why would you compare this and say the quality is better? Of course, Kobe Bryant is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan came in the league and had to improve on his skills and get better on the fly. And then Kobe Bryant saw the top of the line Michael Jordan and improved on that. Of course, Magic Johnson can't jump and fly like LeBron James, but LeBron James saw Magic Johnson and so forth. Allen Iverson. I mean, we can go chapter, book, and verse on this. It's stupid, man. Respect what became before you. That seems to be a reoccurring sin in our community. We look at things from 25, 35, 45, 55, 65, 75 years ago, and we say what's wrong instead of drawing out what's right. It's easy to, you know what? H-Rap doesn't speak with the most, he doesn't enunciate to the best of his abilities. H-Rap does not use the King's English to the Queen's taste. But guess what? I'm not Brian Gumbel, and I'm not trying to be Brian Gumbel. But guess what? There's certain things that I've learned from Brian Gumbel. There's certain things that I've learned from Stephen A. Smith. There's certain things I've learned from Shannon Sharp, even that clown Jason Whitlock, and so forth and so on. And I have inculcated it into my style. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not better than anybody, but ain't nobody better than me. Guess what? I appreciated Walter Payton. I actually had a dude call me one day and tell me, I just looked at O.J. Simpson's stats, and he wasn't as good as they say he is. I only see about 4 or 5 good years. Totally and unequivocally the stupidest thing I've ever heard somebody say. Because do not compare O.J. Simpson to a Walter Payton. Do not compare him to an Eric Dickerson. Do not compare him to a Marshall Faulk, because he didn't have all the amenities they had. O.J. Simpson was one of the most, for his time and for this time, was one of the most dominant running backs in the history of the game. But of course, he didn't catch the ball because he didn't have a quarterback to throw on the ball. He had one of the worst offensive lines. He had one of the worst teams around, and he was still able to threaten the Jim Brown rushing record at that time. So my point is, you can compare things from the 70s to the 80s and say they're not as good. Now, well, you get guys like Gilbert Arenas talking about they didn't shoot 1,000 times. So how do you think that jump shots got better, Gilbert? You think they just hooped every day and got their jump shots better because they was hooping? Or do you not hear, you fashion yourself a Laker fan? You don't hear Magic Johnson saying, I be in there practicing all summer. You don't hear them saying that you come to the stadium and see Larry Bird shoot. They walk into the stadium 4 or 5 hours before game day and see Larry Bird practicing shooting in. You think shoot because they didn't have shooting machines, and you don't think they had ball boys grabbing balls for them? That's just stupid. Look, man, at the end of the day, what I want people to do is respect your past. It is a African principle called Sankofa. Learn your past so you will know why you are where you are, and it will direct you to your future. Of course, you don't know that because you're hot taking and you think you're the smartest cat in the world. You surround yourself with goofballs and guys who are too lazy to research the things that you say. It's relatively entertaining. It's fun to watch at times. But when you make stupid statements like, there's no way possible they could have done this then. Look, if you are an NBA caliber player, it is a very good chance you can last in any era. All this foolishness about bashing this dude, LeBron James. All this foolishness about Jordan is the greatest. Guess what? I don't like hot sauce. Most black people do. That does not make hot sauce nasty. That just means it's not for me. People need to learn how to respect other people's point of view. You don't have to like the people in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, or the 90s. But what you need to do is respect them. Don't be listening to doofuses like Charles Barkley and talk all that foolishness for shock value, and he can't think his way out of a wet paper bag with a blowtorch. He's not a wise guy. Listen to the Kenny Smiths of the world. Listen to the Ryan Clarks of the world. Listen to the people who are well thought and well educated on the past, the present, and they're looking towards the future versus starting these foolish arguments, highlighting individual instances in which the player that you don't care for had a bad moment. Michael Jordan I saw Michael Jordan miss a fast break dunk. That does not take away his capabilities of the capabilities of Michael Jordan and his ability to be the greatest of all time from some people's perspective. We saw LeBron James flat out choke against Dallas. But guess what? He went on to win 4 championships after that. He went on to win 4 more championships and 4 more finals MVPs. You got people talking about LeBron he ain't clutch. I saw LeBron James score 27 of the last 32 points of a basketball game in which he was supposed to lose. So don't allow the TV to think for you people. Enjoy the fucking party. Don't allow yourself to be programmed at all times. Even if I say something stupid, that's why they got the chat room. Come in here or get at me at @HRAP_B on Instagram, and the inbox is wide open. On Twitter, I'm always on there just talking about sports or whatever. Don't be stupid, man. I ain't trying to hear no more of this. This is your man HRAP. 2 fingers, 1 word, and I'm out.
Jesus. I mean, trust me, man.